Hi, this is John with The Evolving World. Today I'm doing a quick video on blacking out the chrome on a Chevrolet Bolt EV. And so, I'm not a big fan of chrome to begin with, and on this particular car I'm really not a big fan of it. There's a lot of ugliness happening, especially in this particular part of the car right here. Just like this whole area right here, the way this chrome comes around and in this wacky manner here. And it carries up over here and kind of just terminates right there. And then also this piece down here is not the best logical place to put a piece of chrome. I mean, it just really, to me, that makes no sense whatsoever why this piece of chrome is down here. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, you've got this nice flat black going on here. You have these kind of faux fender flares, which I like that design element. It looks kind of like an 80s VW kind of, except for the fact that it's not flaring out. It's actually, unlike those cars where they flared out, this one, it's just flush. But it's still a cool look. I like it. But then we got this going on, which makes no sense whatsoever. What's with the chrome? It matches nothing. It just doesn't look right. And then we have more of it back here. This little piece right here that's just randomly stuck on there, seemingly for no reason whatsoever. So anyway, I don't like it. I do like the rest of the car. And there's, well, minus a couple quirks. I mean, there's a couple of things I've done some videos on, but I mean, it's really just a few things. And so what we're going to do today is we're going to go ahead and fix this little problem here. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So here's what we're going to be using for the process here. Now, some people have different opinions about how to do it. Some people will use wrap. I'm going to be using paint because I like a more permanent effect here, and I like something that's pretty easy to apply. We're not going to be spraying anything. We're going to be using just a brush here, using a nice high quality brush here, and then some paint. This is some flat black paint, so you can see how it has that kind of a, which is going to match our trim color pretty nicely. And then all we really need is some 220 grit or something similar, 200, 220, 180, something in that range of sandpaper. And this is obviously some scrap paper off a orbiter sander, but you can use just a sheet, any kind of sheet sandpaper will work fine. And basically the procedure is pretty simple. Like I said, you could spray it. I mean, if you do spray paint it, you'd have to tape everything off, and that's an extra time consuming process. I think on this particular car, because there's a rubber trim piece and there's a pretty significant gap between the paint and the chrome, especially up here. Now here it gets a little bit tighter next to the black paint down here, but then again, black on black, it's not really going to show too badly if we overlap a little bit there. So there's always some sort of gap here. You know, it's never like you need to have a razor sharp, you know, paint line. As is the case with any kind of painting project, preparation is absolutely the most important part of the whole process. So in this case, all we're using is just some 220 grit sandpaper. It doesn't have to be exactly 220, but something in that range. And basically the technique is pretty simple. You just you take your fingernail here and you take the edge of your sandpaper and you find that spot right there. You protect the part that you do not want to sand and use that as a guide, and basically just kind of do something like that, and basically just flip it around when you do this side and do the same thing. And basically if you need to, some places you'll find that maybe using a screwdriver on the back of this instead of your fingernail is the better procedure, just to get a more straight, cleaner line. But basically that's the whole procedure. And so this is what it looks like before, chromy, and then it gets kind of like this afterwards. We get it nice and marred up and everything, ready for paint. Once you have everything sanded and ready to go, I find it's easier just to do it all at once. So I did the whole entire car, and then that way we'll be doing the painting all at once. So this is pretty much what it should look like. It's all roughened up a little bit. It kind of looks kind of interesting. It looks kind of like stainless steel now, like brushed stainless steel. I kind of like the look of it almost, as opposed to the shiny chromy stuff. It's an improvement, but I think it's going to look even better once we paint it black. So that's our next step here. As you can see, all pretty much ready to go. So here's the basic procedure. You basically do the edges first, and then kind of infill it with the brush afterwards. Just you know, be careful of when you're next to something that's contrasting. Like for here, we have contrasting, so make sure that not overlap that. But when you have the rubber, like on this side, you can pretty much just be generous with it because it's not going to matter. It's going to blend in with it just nicely, so it doesn't. So you don't have to take too much attention to that side. So basically, it's what we have so far here. Obviously, the car is a little dirty, so don't mind that. But we started with the back actually. This is what we got here so far. Now, don't worry about making it look all perfect because it will even out on its own. I mean, I just painted it, so it will look a little bit better as it dries because it is a flat matte finish type paint, so it will look like this eventually, you know, so it's not going to be glossy. So you don't have to worry about brush strokes and stuff like that. It's going to look much more like this, much more textured kind of flat finish, which is why I like this this paint because it's easy to work with. Here it is, all 100% complete. It took about 6 hours to do that total. So I think it came out pretty nice. I like how it matches the black trim that was already on the car down here, specifically the flat black trim. I think that looks really nice there. Just lose that chrome element. I'm not a chrome fan, as I mentioned before. So it's it was just too busy. So like this whole area right here in particular looks a lot more cleaner now. It's just not so busy. That's a little overly done here. And so I like how the flat, you know, matches this piece down here. You can see it right there. However, there's a little piece right here that if I really want to be a perfectionist, it would probably be nice to paint just this little piece right here, the flat black. That way it matches this piece. That way it looks consistent. See, it's flat here, gloss, and then this little piece down here should be flat as well. If I really want to be a perfectionist about it, maybe that's something to come back and do another day. But at least the overall look is here. So we've pretty much managed to take out all the chrome on the car now, with the exception of a little bit on the emblems in the front. That's the only place where they're, and that I don't even mind. I mean, that's no big deal. I don't care about, you know, little things like that. Doesn't mean anything. I just didn't like that way that chrome looked on the car. It just made me crazy. I just couldn't understand what is going on here. So, but anyway, that's just me. I mean, some other people might agree as well. But anyway, I think that's it for this video. So hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe if you did, and many more to come.